I understand that you're going to be meeting with the Turkish foreign minister in early June. And as I'm sure you're aware, the Turkish foreign minister could decide to release Pastor Brunson from jail and send him directly back to the United States. Pastor Brunson has been held there since October of 2016. Do you intend to raise that issue when you meet with the foreign minister?
Yes.
And can you also give us some insights into how you might discuss the issue of Turkey's decision to buy the Russian S-400 missile defense system?
Certainly, Senator Shaheen. So I've spoken with the Turkish foreign minister at least once, maybe twice in my first 3 weeks, or many topics that we've covered. Certainly, in each case, have talked about the incredible need for them to return Pastor Brunson. It's just deeply wrong, immoral, unjust. No success so far, but you can be assured that we're working diligently on that. Second, we've spoken to them. I've spoken to them in each case, and will again next week about the S-400. We have implored them not to take that weapon system for a host of reasons. I won't belabor today. You know them well. There are several, but the other major topic that we're going to be working on is trying to achieve a resolution about the Turkish activities in northern Syria, in and around Afrin and Manbij. My predecessor began a process they called the roadmap, and it is our effort to put the details together surrounding that. We have a team. I think there's a team in Ankara now or this week to work on that, and I'm hopeful during his visit here we can resolve that so that we don't end up in a situation where we have two NATO allies too close together, creating risk.
Can I guys move to Turkey? I think during your testimony this week before the House Foreign Affairs Committee, you said we need to get Turkey to rejoin NATO. Others have called Turkey and NATO a troubled marriage. Turkey has increasingly taken steps, to me, that undermine the NATO alliance, from cooperating with Russia to attacking the Kurds fighting ISIS. In December, Turkey announced it's going to be purchasing these S-400 anti-aircraft defense system. It's not compatible with a NATO system like the Patriot system. Could you talk a little bit about our strategy to bring Turkey back into the NATO fold, and the areas where we could actually be working cooperatively with President Erdogan?
So there are places, right? They were in support of the efforts that we took in, some of the efforts that we took in Syria. There are pockets where we still are able to continue to allow us to operate out of air bases there. So there are pieces that are very important to the Department of Defense as well. But the trend is wrong, to be sure. Their actual possession of the S-400 causes multiple levels of challenges between us and between Turkey and NATO. We are pressing diplomatically to make clear we're trying to offer them alternatives as well. We're trying to provide for what our legitimate defense needs, to assist them with legitimate defense needs as well. We're trying to do the things that will encourage them to come back. If I said rejoin NATO yesterday, I may have misspoken. They're obviously still a member of NATO. I hope that their actions will prove to be more consistent with what it is NATO's primary objectives are.
Because the whole question about their request to buy 100, I think, F-35s, and how that would stand, if it's taking us in the wrong direction, or if it's a way to bring them back in.
It is still very much a live issue, the Turks' capacity to have access to the F-35.